Hello everyone, welcome back to the online sessions of the Material Science and Metallurgy. Myself Parikh taking the lectures on your unit number that is known as an corrosion of metals and alloy. Okay, so till now we have discussed about the what do you mean by the corrosion, what are the effects of the corrosion, and then we have gone for the different types of the corrosion. Now, after that completion of the different types of the corrosion, we have discussed some of the techniques which were used for the preventive measures of that corrosion. That means how to modify the environment that we have seen, and the second method which we have seen, that was the change in the design or the material, how we can change that consideration and how we can go for the prevention of your corrosion. So in this lecture we will be going for the remaining methods for the prevention of your corrosion. So the third method which we will be going, that is known as an use of the spatial alloy. That means by addition of the spatial alloy inside the material, we can save that material from the corrosion. That means alloying. Now what do you mean by the alloying? When you are adding an external metal inside that particular whatever the thing you are having for that, and if the properties of the material are increased, that means if the according to the thing which we require, if that additional element gives you that thing, then that type of the material is known as an alloying element. So we are using an alloying element for the corrosion resistance and for the improvement of its mechanical properties. So let us discuss it with some of the examples. That is the first one, by addition of the chromium and nickel, which will give you the corrosion resistance inside your steel and all. Then if you introduce tin inside the material for the brass and bronze, then also your tin gives you an corrosion resistance for brass and bronze material. And the third one, for the cast iron, that is nickel, chromium and silicon, all the three can give you the proper corrosion resistance. Majorly chromium and nickel are used for the corrosion resistance of the material. So this was a special category for the thing that by addition of one or the two alloying element inside the material, that material will become corrosion resistance. Okay. So now moving forward for our next method, that is known as an application of the inhibitors. Now what do you mean by the inhibitors? Inhibitors, they are the material which are added in a very small quantity in the aqueous environment, where we are adding this thing into the aqueous environment for the corrosion resistance of the material. So what will happen? Due to that thing, your decrease of the corrosion in the metal will take place. Okay, there are two types of the inhibitors which we can use, that is either anodic inhibitors we are using, or we are using a cathodic inhibitor. So now let us discuss about the first one, that is known as an anodic inhibitor. It suppresses the anodic reaction. That means it will not allow the anode to get reacted. So what will happen, as we have discussed in the types of corrosion, that the anode, they are prone for the corrosion. So what will happen, cathode will not react to the corrosion, and anode, they will always go for the corrosion, as we have discussed in our galvanic corrosion. So here what we are doing, we are not allowing the anodic reaction to take place. So as a result, what will happen, your corrosion resistance will take place. How we can go for that thing? Oxidizing agents which we are using, that are the chromates, nitrate, phosphate. These are the different types of the oxidizing agent which we are using it as an anodic inhibitors. By addition of that anodic inhibitors, we will prevent the iron from the corrosion. So by using this thing, we can prevent it from the corrosion. What is the main principle behind that thing? Here what we are doing, we are taking oxygen as an anodic inhibitor, and what we are taking, we are forming the protective film by the formic ferric hydroxide, by the oxidation reaction. So what will happen? Thereby reducing the corrosion rate. So whatever the oxygen we are introducing, with the help of that anodic inhibitor, they will form a layer. Which layer? Ferric hydroxide, and as a result what will happen, that is a passive film which will be there. So it will not allow the corrosion to occur beneath that particular film. So in this way, by adding inhibitor, what we are doing, either we are going for the less anodic reaction, or we are making a thin film over the material. Okay, however, this type of the corrosion may be dangerous. Why? Because sometimes if it is not forming a film, then that oxygen will react inside the material and will go for the corrosion. So it is a very dangerous type of the protective. If it goes in our way, then there will be a corrosion resistance, and if it goes on the another way, then it will increase the corrosion. So by going for the proper way, then and then this type of the protective layer can be formed and your corrosion resistance can be done. Clear? Next thing, that is our second one. If you go for the second one, that is known as an cathodic inhibitors. What we have discussed? We have discussed about our anodic inhibitors. Now we will go for the cathodic inhibitor. They prevent the evolution of the hydrogen. What will they do? They will not allow the hydrogen to form. So due to that thing, what will happen? Oxygen absorption also will be delayed. That means two things will be done. Either we will prevent hydrogen evolution and we will also prevent the oxygen to get absorbed on the surface. So automatically, if oxygen is not allowed to absorb, what will happen? Your material will be protected. In acidic solution, we are using amines are added. So what will happen? The cathodic surface will prevent the H plus ion, and due to that thing, what will happen? Your material will be safe enough. We are also using with amines, we can also use the antimony, and the arsenic oxides are also used as an inhibitors. What will happen? Antimony arsenic oxide film will be formed, which will be on the material, and that film will not allow hydrogen or oxygen absorption on the material. Neutral solutions where we are using the inhibitors like magnesium, zinc, nickel salts, they are used as an cathodic inhibitor. What we will be there doing? They will form an hydroxyl ion. What is that hydroxyl ion? Hydroxyl ion, that is nothing but a OH thing. OH minus we are using, that is if we are having OH minus, the hydroxyl ion is formed, which deposits on the cathode and forms the one type of the layer on it. Then when an easily corroded steel is used, some provision to increase its life, that can be done by the help of this particular inhibitors. To minimize the corrosion of the metal, protective coatings are also made, which are of the cathodic. So what will happen? Our material will be safe enough. Whatever the coatings which we are using, the coating should have a good corrosion resistance, perfect adherence underlying surface, and the surface should be easily covered so that your any of the oxygen or the hydrogen will not be allowed to go inside the material, and as a result it will be safe enough. So the applied coating can be either a metallic coating with the help of that oxide, or you can go for the non-metallic coatings also. Clear? So this was your application of the inhibitors in the way of the anodic and the cathodic thing. The second one which we are going for the inhibitor, that is the metallic coatings we are applying. We are going for the metallic coating. There are two factors which are involved for the protection of the metallic coatings. That means one is the mechanical isolation of the metal from the corroding or from the surrounding surfaces, and other is the galvanic relation of the cathode coating, which is based on the base metal. That is, first one, that is mechanical isolation of the metal from the surrounding. That means we will not allow our metal to get reacts with our environment. And the second one, that is the galvanic relation of the coating, means whatever the coating we are using, that should be on the EMF series, and from that thing we will be using whatever the metal coating we are using, we have to verify it on the EMF series, and we have to correlate it with our base metal, and then we can go for the metallic coating. How we have to verify that thing? If the coating metal is higher in galvanic series, then what will happen? The metal discontinuity in the coating are not a problem. So what is the beneficial for us? The whatever the beneficial thing, that is we should take the metal which are higher in the galvanic series than our base metal. Then we will face no problem and the corrosion resistance takes place. That means zinc and cadmium we can afford for the galvanic protection of the steel. If you go for the steel, that is iron, then we can use zinc and CD, cadmium. Why? Because they are higher on the galvanic series, which can give you the protection of the steel. So you might have seen the coatings on the ships that we are using the zinc on it. So why we are using that coating of zinc over the sheet? Because zinc will get corroded first ahead of the steel. So with the help of this coating we can save our material from the corrosion. Different methods we can go for the application, that because there are many different methods of applying the metallic coating, so we have to choose that thing correctly. The first one, electroplating. Electroplating means by application of the electric current your anode will get deposited on the cathode. So there will be a coating on that thing. If you might see in that there are some of the coatings which are done on the thing, that is if a spoon is made up of the silver, then the whole spoon is not made of silver, but there is only a coating is there of the silver. If you scratch that thing, what you can observe? You can see that there is a copper inside that thing. The same method is applied over here, electroplating. That means we are plating zinc or the cadmium over a steel with the application of the electricity. Second one, hot dipping. That means by hot dipping inside a solution, if we are dipping, the solution is made up of the material to be coated. So when we take a material which we want, or we can take a steel and then dip inside the material of a zinc or a cadmium, so what will happen? That zinc and cadmium will get on that particular surface and we can go for the metallic coating. Third one, cladding. Cladding, by applying a particular current over a surface, what will happen? The metal cladding will take place, or you can fix it with the help of the different methods, that is known as a metallic cladding. And the last one, high temperature diffusion. By applying a very high temperature, the material will get diffused inside the thing, and as a result your coating will be formed all over the surface due to the very high temperature. So these are the different types of the metallic coatings which we will be using. And the last one, the simple method which we can go for the metallic coating, that is the metal spraying. By the spray application, by the spraying on the thing, we can spray the whole thing on the material, and as a result the metallic coating happens and we can save our material from the corrosion. Clear? So now let us go for the, after the metallic coating, let us discuss our non-metallic coatings. The most common non-metallic coatings are the paints. Whatever the color paints we are taking, that paint, porcelain we can also take, and the chemical coatings which we can go for it. So with the help of that thing we can prevent it from the corrosion. Nowadays coatings of plastic are also used. With the help of that plastic, different materials, if we coat plastic, they are always not going for the corrosion, so we can save the material for a very long time. Paints are most widely used. You might have seen wherever there is a corrosion is going on, the simple method and the most economical method, that is by application of the paint, we can go for the saving of that particular thing, that is the coating. By applying a non-metallic coating of paint on the surface, we can avoid our thing, that is the corrosion. Bituminous coatings are also very useful for the protection around the tanks or the pipes. Whatever the iron pipes or the iron tanks are there, for saving of that particular thing from the corrosion, we were using the bituminous coating. Nowadays we are having a PVC pipelines and all that thing, so now we are not using this type of the coatings now. Chemical coatings are also produced either by the chemical reaction in a suitable solution by the particular way. Due to that chemical reaction, what will happen? One type of the material will develop, and that will help for the particular prevention of that corrosion. So this was all about your applications of the inhibitors, or we can say the different types of the coatings which we have applied on the material. So now in the upcoming lecture we will discuss the main method of the prevention of the corrosion, that is anodic and the cathodic protection. So in this lecture we have seen about the inhibitors and the coating method, how we can go to prevent the corrosion of the metals and the alloys. Till then, thank you.